Here. Looks like we've got Elderberry and Amber Dawn. Maybe a few more will join us. Welcome to the show, guys. I have a quick little video clip to show you. Some Biden news. And I thought we could discuss what's going on or not going on in Palestine. Also things going on with U.S., Russia, Iran, Egypt. The world is making a lot of noise right now over something that may be an entire hoax. How are you doing, guys? So let me just play a little clip for you here. Give me a moment to line it up. So what we're at here is a pro-Palestinian rally. Hey, beloved, good to see you. Hi, Indy. Chloe, how are you doing, guys? At work, but unfortunately my lunch is over. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Chloe. So this video here gives some pretty good examples of what's going on out there. Now, I really appreciate this first man's opinion. Hey, Scotty boy. Hey, Phoenix Fire. Goes a little downhill after there. But let's give it a listen anyway. Oops, that's not right. There we go. Let's see, speed. I'll put the playback speed. Oops. Back to normal.
The genocide, to stop the killing, to stop the hate, to stop the violence. That's what brings us here, because this is not only my cause, it's not the Palestinian cause, it's not the Arab cause, it's a humanitarian cause. We want the killing, we want the hate, we want the violence to stop on all sides, on all parties. We don't want anybody to die. No more civilians dying, no more Palestinians dying, no more Israelis, no more Jews, no more Muslims, no more dying. Just cease the fire, stop. All wars can get accomplished on tables, not by killing.
We are here just to tell the whole world that we
now
will
that man
not go
had
down.
it right.
We are standing for our rights. We are spreading the
Does go
truth
downhill
about
a little
what's
bit
going on
from
in
here.
Gaza.
I'm here today to protest for human rights for the Palestinian children and mothers, and to be honest, for humanity, for the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians who are being killed in Palestine.
Obviously, you believe that the response from the Israel government has been disproportionate toward Gaza. In your opinion, I know it's a tough position to be put in, but in your opinion, what would a proportionate response look like for Israel for what happened 11 days ago?
Are we talking about proportional with math and calculation? Because if we're talking about proportional, then we're never going to stop killing each other.
We've heard people here chant that Justin Trudeau has blood on his hands, and a lot of people obviously hold the Canadian government responsible. We've also seen Trudeau say that the bombing at the hospital was unacceptable and everybody has to follow international humanitarian law. So, in particular, what would you guys like to see the Canadian government do?
At the end of the day, it's not just the Canadian government. It's the entire Western government, whether it be Canada or the States. We sit as people and we pay our taxes and we fight for the rights of the Ukrainians. We fought for the rights in the Holocaust, and this is Holocaust once more. And no one wants to say anything. Justin Trudeau was admiring the Israeli government, the IDF, for what they did in the first 3 days. But once they bomb a hospital, that's when he wants to come on our side. He can't keep switching sides.
He's saying unacceptable, but in the meantime, they are standing 100% with Israel. Do you see the picture? So is that acceptable for you or for anybody to stand to pick and shoot? To say this is unacceptable, but we are standing beside Israel, and Israel has the right to defend their existing.
I don't know why the word
I want
Scotty
them to
boy.
come out and take Israel accountable for their actions. say anything
Hey, Steve-O.
that's
Good to see
remotely
ya.
related to Israel committing this genocide that we've all seen. The entire world is seeing what they're doing. And Trudeau hasn't said one thing at all condemning Israel's actions for the past 75 years.
There are no winners in war. That's why Canada, that's why Justin Trudeau has blood on their hands. I came here 21 years ago. And this country gave my family an opportunity. It gave me an education. It gave me a home, a safe home, where my people weren't getting killed. And now, they're feeding the terrorists. They're not taking care of our own people here on land. They're not taking care of our schools. They're not taking care of our hospitals. And I'm talking way before COVID. Way before COVID. Our homeless people here, people are on drugs. They have no place to go. Trudeau must go. Biden
Right.
must go. Doug Ford must go. Honestly, all the politicians in the room, they're all trash.
Do you think Hamas has to take any responsibility for what's happened to Palestinians over the past week?
Well, without any sort of resistance, you can pretty much say that Palestine will be
bit,
wiped out.
Void?
Ever since 1948, we've been resisting, we've been fighting for our land, fighting for change. In Palestine and other countries too, like Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, other countries, we've all been protesting, we've all been wanting our governments to take steps to change the situation of the Palestinians.
Do you think both sides have a right to defend themselves?
No, we are under occupation. They are the occupied. They are the one who's controlling the sea, controlling the food, controlling the land. How you can equal between somebody who put him in prison and the prisoner? Are there an equal equation here? By itself is injustice. I am the one who are under fire. I am the one who are under occupation since 1948.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a clear picture for you?
So these
At the
are.
end of the day, ever since 9/11, any single area.
This girl's very emotional, and I understand why. These are protesters in Canada, Palestinian protesters in Canada. We're going to listen to them for a few minutes, get a sense of what they're feeling, how they're thinking about this. You're the one whose ego here? Okay. Don't believe anyone here. Yeah, that's a good idea there, Emmett. Or sorry, James. Hi, Robert. Well, 2030 is now 2025 agenda. I don't have a dog here. The Zionists are running the show. Well, they're part of it. Yeah. Don't like either faction. Yeah, they are. They're idiots. Feelings. Whoa. Feelings. I can only fight my fight. Well, this fight may become our fight.
Arab
Certainly
that wants
trying
to
to
fight
make it
for
our
the freedom
fight.
of their people is labeled as a terrorist. Any single Arab that wants to speak the truth of their people is justified as a terrorist. We are not terrorists. If a white person or any other person came down here to speak for the freedom of their people, this would be labeled as a protest. This would be labeled as a peaceful thing. But when it comes to Arabs, this is terrorism?
No, they're letting
We're
you do
sitting
it.
here peacefully. In Islam,
nobody's stopping
the murder
you.
of innocent people is wrong. Bombing hospitals is wrong. We don't do that. And to say Gaza and Hamas were the ones that did it, it's completely incorrect.
Now, if you protest for freedom
we
in
sit here
Canada,
and we want to
then you will
justify
get thrown in
it. And the
jail.
Western media portrays us as the terrorists. They've been terrorists for years. They are the terrorists. They killed people in Afghanistan and in Syria and in Libya and in many other Middle Eastern countries and justified it off of 11. We are not terrorists. We will never be terrorists.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So yeah, very passionate about her cause. I'm gonna invite people up for this one because I want to hear what you guys have heard. Now this is this whole thing is over this hospital deal, right? Now I've heard several different stories about this hospital deal. The first one I heard was about the Israelis telling the hospital to evacuate because the hospital was going to be bombed. That was the story I heard. Then I heard that the hospital had been bombed. Okay. 500 people died. Then we hear, well, it was Hamas that bombed the hospital. No, it's not Hamas. It was Hamas, but it was Hamas firing off rockets, and it only landed in the parking lot and just blew out some windows. So now we have these protests over 3 different stories. I'm big on hugs, yeah. Right. See, there we go. Hey, Tex-Mex, how you doing? That's what I mean, Tex-Mex. I've seen clips, videos, and when they stream them together with the audio, it does appear that the Israelis attacked, and then it appears that the Palestinians attacked. They're throwing this back and forth. We're seeing disinformation and misinformation thrown from every side. I'm surprised that the Democrats didn't blame Trump for it. It's all there for your viewing pleasure. Yeah, that's what I mean, though, Scotty boy. They've shown it from a couple of different ways. So don't believe anything you've seen. And nowadays, we have to get ahead of things, but we also have to be cautious. This, again, is being used to incite people. Now, I don't know how many of these people are paid. I don't think a lot of them are. So we do have a protest on our hands. We had clashes between Israeli and Palestinian protesters here in Canada already. So, well, it does matter, obviously. I know what you mean, but this conflict, it does. It goes way, way back. It goes back to 1924 when the Rothschilds were moving people in, settling them in the land. Then there was a push before the Second World War, to get Jews to move to Palestine. NPCs only eat brains. Yeah. So we've been fed disinformation from everybody, it seems, so far. The only thing we do know is there was a rocket and there was a hospital. Even one of your politicians says the hospital is still there. Hi, Aaron's Energy. Good to see you. Yeah, it's the emotion they're after. They want the emotional response, and they're getting it. This is their incubator babies. This is babies being thrown on the floor to die. It's right. They're using our manifestation powers to juice all this. Yeah, well, they're certainly using our emotions. What was that? No, it's not quite that long, but a long time, yeah. So if anyone wants to come up and tell me what you've heard, which story you heard, and which order you heard the stories in. Right, Milky, and this has only begun. Now we have the U.S. using drones to shoot down Iranian drones and various other weaponry on Iranian drones. We also have Russia threatening the warships, saying, we have nuclear-tipped missiles 9 minutes away from you. Probably less. They're probably right underneath them. So this is a powder keg waiting to go off. They're just wondering whether they can get the emotion up enough. I don't know if they're gonna. I'm hoping that calmer minds will prevail. Don't people hate other people for no reason? We have Steve-O. Hey, hi, Steve-O. There's something going on that we don't know about. Well, this is the unfortunate Third World War we're being pushed to, or the brink of, for control. And we know that everything they do is to further the tighten the grip of control. How you doing, Steve-O? Right, Scotty? I'm sick of threats too. They might, Tex-Mex. It is. It's like the Hatfields and the McCoys, Way back, you killed my brother. And, well, you stole my still or whatever, There's a right now, at this point, there's atrocities on both sides of at least this conflict. They can bicker about who started it, how it started. The important thing is that it stops and that people just stop killing each other. I would take the Palestinian people. Nobody wants to take the Palestinian people. How you doing, Steve-O? Well, he's in and out. We'll have to see. Hopefully it'll eventually work. Let me try that again. Let me post it again, Steve-O. Try it down there. Ray, you tell me? Mashed potatoes and gravy are underwhelming. Oh, never. Yeah, Russia has 24/7 sorties going. I think 31 are carrying the supersonic missiles. 2, for aircraft carriers, yeah. Worse will be if it comes here. A lot of those people are radicals and they make out on us. Yeah. Well, they're already here. That's the thing, Robert. They're already here and they're still coming here. They're having them pour across the borders. There are people from every nation pouring across the borders. And people believe it sometime, and I believe it, because there's no other reason. Hi, G.
Hello.
For them to be here other than to cause disruption. They're economic migrants brought here by the likes of Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, and their economic wars. Hi, G. How you doing?
Hey, Max. I'm doing okay. I just wanted to pop up for a minute and throw out some of my ideas.
Sure.
Yeah.
This thing's all over the place, so
as usual. There's always chaos in it mixed with everything these days. I just wanted to point out the news stations that I have been watching, and there's a reoccurring thing that really irks me, and that is when the anchor person starts saying, "I believe blah blah blah," "I think blah blah blah." They're interjecting an agenda because I don't want to listen to their thoughts. I want the news. And that's how they get you. They just, They
Yeah,
make
it's all opinion piece now.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's when you know you're being hoodwinked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently there were a few places that reported properly saying we heard there were reports of, if they're giving you that type of thing and giving you both sides, Palestinians are saying this, the Israelis are saying that, the Americans, give the different viewpoints. That's why I pulled up things like that. That's True North News. They're called extreme right wing news, but all they do is report all the sides of the news. They showed as many different viewpoints as they could in that small report, which is what the news should be doing.
Yes, we don't get much of that
Yeah,
here. No,
right.
it's all
Yeah,
it's
this is
all
this is an
scam.
alternative news site. This is people paid for by the people. So
Yeah, that's when you're going to get something a little more real.
Mhm.
Yeah, when there's anything with commercials behind it, you know that it's a propaganda piece, mostly for whomever is paying for the station.
Yeah, we know Bill Gates gave all the stations. Well, he split up two lots of $500 million for all the TV stations. So a few $100,000 per station that he
And
divvied out.
and they call him a philanthropist. I can't say it today.
Well, yeah, that's philanthropy in
Thank
some
you.
sense, but he's just
Well,
doing it so that they will back it. They would back his medications.
well, exactly. That
Yeah,
was, yeah,
that was
yeah.
investment money. That wasn't philanthropy. You know.
No. In reality, no. He's controlling the situation.
Yeah.
But that's what they'll call him. Yeah. And and the other thing, I personally feel, I think, I believe that this is all a land grab because things are going down quickly, and they gotta escalate what they need to get done.
Yeah, I put that out there the other day of a 15-minute city. I was saying, I wonder if there's a little blue sign outside of Palestine that says future site of a 15-minute city.
Oh yeah, it's beachfront property on that Gaza Strip. You don't think they don't want that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and also this links up with what happened in Maui. I really do think that they're just moving forward really quickly. Uh, the time chart, the timeline has to be moved up. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, where are you there? You guys are supposed to be up here too. There we go.
Hey, finally made it. I made the jump.
How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing good. I see you're on. I thought, I got some time. I don't have to work tomorrow. I can come on and spend a little time with you guys.
Nice.
So there we go. Here I am.
I'm at work tomorrow, but I thought this was kind of important because of all the garbage and lies and deception they're putting out there, and people are taking a side in this, and I'm just sick of it, watching it.
Yeah,
it's got to be called out.
It does. The thing is that right now, news travels faster than the speed of sound, and we don't know what is real and what is fake anymore. I mean, did that happen yesterday or did it happen today? And is it true or is it not? It's the guy that's behind the camera feeding you the news at a moment's notice, and then people freak out. And what's to say that first they were talking about babies dying, then we find out that's fake, and then we're finding out this, and then we're finding out that. Was it real or was it fake? I don't know, and it's got a lot of people in an uproar.
Well, yeah, of course it does, and it was meant to. It's the incubator babies from the Gulf War.
Yeah.
So it's meant to stir up emotions. And there's the old saying, the truth is just getting its pants on before the lie makes its way around the world. Or the lie makes its way around the world before the truth is getting its pants on. One of the ways. One of
Yeah,
those waves.
and it happens faster now than ever before.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, years ago they had to write an article and send it out. They had messengers that would run miles to bring the news to whoever it was, and then it was a telegraph. Type it out, send it to the next guy. Now it's I took a picture, I put it on the web, and I sent it across the world.
Yep.
And nobody knows where it came from, who sent it, and if it's even true.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say I know what happened there. I can only say what I've heard. And so far I've heard totally conflicting stories. You know, so there's a hospital destroyed either by Hamas or by Palestine or by Israel. There's a hospital destroyed by a stray rocket from Palestine or Hamas.
So
those are two completely conflicting and different stories, you know.
Here's the problem. You think the hospital was destroyed. The hospital was not destroyed.
Yes, that's where I was going next. Now we have nobody destroyed a hospital, that they destroyed a parking lot, and it was Israel. Okay, no, it wasn't Israel, it was Palestine that did it. Okay, so we've got 7 different stories that they've put out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Well, what the thing was is I kind of believe the part with the parking lot, because I heard several days before that people were camped out in these hospital parking lots for safety, figuring that nobody would bomb a hospital. And then it makes sense that it was a stray rocket. It also makes sense that the rocket landed in the parking lot and killed all those people, because they showed pictures of the hospital and it really didn't look like it was blown up.
Yeah.
So I guess you got to do a little sleuthing on your own.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we've got to get faster on this. We are faster. They're a week into destroying each other. Hopefully, you know, this will get out, that the truth will get out of actually what happened. And it really doesn't matter which side did it. Just stop it. Like, just freaking stop it, you know? You've killed or supposedly killed some babies. Isn't that enough? Is that enough for you? Is that enough for you both to be satiated? You know? But I know it's not. Not for the ones that are causing this. This isn't enough.
They've been at war for hundreds and hundreds of years. They're not stopping.
No.
Well,
they hate each other.
Yeah. And this whole situation was brought about by the Rothschilds. They started buying up land there in 1924 and convinced everyone of the story that was the promised land. And the rabbinical Jews back then and all of the other Jewish sects claimed no, that they had no right to that land because the promise was over, that time was over. And they didn't want to go back. So apparently some people, some of the Jews, along with a lot of the British Secret Service, went there and started causing conflict. And this was before the UN or NATO, I can't remember which, got in after the war and declared that the Israeli land. So, you know, this is all entirely provocateur from almost 100 years ago.
Yeah. Yes. And you know, because that was their land originally thousands of years ago.
Yes.
And it'd be like the Indians rising up today and saying, you know, you white Europeans stole our land and we want it all back. Go back to Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
and they took it from the red-haired giants.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
it's all rented anyway. We don't own anything. But I was also going to say, it's very interesting right after World War II how many Jewish people headed right there to Israel to get out of Europe.
Yeah.
Predominantly Germany. something was set up for them there. That wasn't just a gosh and by golly, let's
Oh
just.
no, there were Jewish religious centers, synagogues, community centers, schools. Everything was set up there by the Rockefellers long before 1949.
Yeah.
Long before. As early as probably the 1930s, because he started there in 1924, buying up the land. And there was even a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that he actually bought what's the city? Jerusalem. That he bought Jerusalem. That the Rockefellers actually owned Jerusalem.
Well,
I don't know if that's true or not, but
well, after the war, I imagine there was a fire sale on all that land, and good time to step in and buy it up cheap. Hey, didn't we see that in someplace over by Hawaii?
Yeah.
Just my point.
We see that out west in Canada and out east. All the vacation spots that went up this spring, when wildfires are not commonly known to go off.
Yeah. Well, even here in my little county, the government came in and sanctioned off a part of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And you can't go in there now. I mean, the government.
Really?
They believe it's because of lithium. Regardless, though, there's a land grab. It's like whatever the resource or the area.
Yeah.
Something's afoot.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't that supposed to be our national park where you can go and explore and have fun and do whatever? And said, oh no, we're gonna square this part off, and you can't go over there. It's only for the wild tortoises that roam the desert or something.
Exactly. That's they declared something and took it. Well, of course, our county is upset because it's money.
Yeah.
For the county now, it's not.
See,
they have no control.
Yeah, here's Aaron's Energy. Now, Aaron's Energy, we can point out one particular group or another. But unfortunately, it's all of them. Who was it? The first Kennedy there said it right. We find the idea of secret societies abhorrent. And it should be to every sane, peace-loving human being. And all of these secret societies should be routed out and held up for account for what they're doing. All of them.
And unfortunately, there's secret societies inside the secret society.
Yep.
Yeah, they bury themselves rather deep, and they're always under the perception that they're beneficial and help the community, and the drill.
Yeah. I know my buddy. He joined the Masons, right? And he says, well, we do nothing but good things. We raise some money for unfortunate kids, and we help the community, and we do this and we do that, blah, 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 blah. And I said, what? You're like a first level Mason. Of course you do. You ain't going to know anything until you're either a prominent citizen that owns has a big buku bucks or something. And then you're going to move up the ladder. And until you're, way up the ladder, you're going to know squat. I mean, you're just going to say, this is a great thing. And it's good because the community benefits. And the community says, hey, those Masons over there, they're great people. They help the kids. They built the fountain in the park. They, picked up our roads, et cetera, et cetera. They're good people.
Yeah.
But on the inside, if you're in the know, then you know the secrets. And that might not be so pretty.
Yeah, they all seem to have what I call storefront dressing. They're always
well said.
Yeah, always. And the average person, let's put it that way, they can't see it. They can't see it for what it is at all.
Well, those have to be routed out too. The police are infiltrated as well. We've got a lot of immigrants. We have a huge immigrant problem. Even what's his name? That dinosaur that turned to be 100 this year.
Oh yeah, Kissinger.
Kissinger, yeah, the guy they haul out every time they're going to kill a bunch of people.
Now, first of all, can we stop for a second? How did this man live so long? He was old when I was a kid.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with this picture here. I think he's an alien. I don't know what's going on. Something is really wrong with a couple of these men up here.
Oh, he's lived way too long. Have you ever noticed whenever people are dying, whenever people are going to die, they always pull out Kissinger?
That or Keith Richards.
That's pulling out the dead.
yeah, exactly. But it's amazing. He's outlived most of them now.
Yeah. But he was saying that that you guys have too many immigrants.
Yeah.
the guy who's pushing for the WEF and all these open borders and your climate thing, and oh my God.
Yeah.
He
does say some really wise things that you really gotta take to heart, like the people who control the food will control the world.
He is a master wordsmith, that man.
Yes,
unfortunately.
He's getting the reason he's living to 100 is because he's getting the best health care that's known to man.
Yeah, child's blood.
Yeah, they're getting the best care that we are not allowed access to, and they're working on immortality right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've been working on immortality for a long time.
I think they've got some longevity down. That's what I'm saying. I think Kissinger is like 200 years old or something. I swear that man was.
Could be 100 years ago. We barely had photographs, right?
Technology is getting harder to fool. It's getting a little harder.
Well, what'll happen is he'll disappear for a while. They'll say he died off, and in 20 years they'll bring him back as a new young man doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's if you watch The Realist McCoy, I think he did an excerpt on that where he showed there's one actor that plays about 20 different roles. Like Seinfeld plays everybody with one of those hoods on. But they could be anybody, really. I saw recently one of the hooded characters. They scratched their neck and moved the hood, and you could clearly see that the wrinkle in the hood was there. It was Biden, but it was Biden's face, but it was under a hood.
Not surprised at all.
They've had that technology since the 80s. They can fake just about anybody's face.
And I don't mean to break hearts musically here, but I'm pretty much on the side that Paul McCartney did die and they replaced him in the 60s. Once you start really looking at the evidence, like the moon landing, it all seems to fall together. And I think Tavistock, that's where I was going to go with this. Tavistock is, I think, the go-to people if you need a double.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a double. They did that with several people. Agra Lavigne or whatever her name is, some singer girl. But that's the thing, that those things can happen if people aren't paying attention. Makeup, Hollywood, they cover it up. They don't want to lose money.
Well, they admitted that Saddam Hussein had like 12 doubles. He had many multiples, and we've seen different Bidens. We've seen different Trudeaus. Like, you can't fake an attached earlobe to an unattached earlobe. I'm sorry, that's just unfakeable.
Yeah, teeth and ears are hard to.
Well, they're not the only ones. Well, they said Hitler had the same thing. Yeah. He had 20 or 30 guys that looked like him, and they were out there doing their thing. You don't know if that was the one they got, the one they killed in the bunker. Yeah. Was that the one? Did they do it? Or did he get on that plane and want to go to Spain and go to Argentina and die, as the FBI finally admitted in 1961?
I didn't even think about Hitler. The real one could have died in that, Valkyrie. And they created a double to keep everything going. Because Hitler, we know, he wasn't a sole dictator. There was a cabinet of men who did that whole war. And then they escaped to Argentina they catch up with him, and they can't bust him because he's not the real Hitler. I don't know.
Apparently,
that'd be a great
2,000 of
movie.
them made their way to Canada. We just celebrated one in Parliament.
Oh yeah, here too.
Yeah, there you go.
It's called
You know,
Paperclip.
like, oh my God. You
Yeah.
know,
They're all in NASA here.
why aren't we extraditing these people to Poland?
We can't
What's up
prove
with
it.
that?
Well, because that little teeny group inside the bigger groups we were just talking about, protect them. They just, yeah, you know, it's all, they're mobs. It's all bought off.
Yeah, Justin Castro.
Oh boy.
I swear that's probably true. He's got his Cuba villa down there. He has a couple of villas down in Cuba. That's probably where he's going when he's done with us, done milking us for money.
Well, you got to know, if he got into power, he's got to be related to other people who've been in power, because there's not a single person got in any of those big jobs that isn't related or, you know, cousin or relation to somebody else who isn't in power. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Only happened once in American history for the presidency.
Yeah, I think so. One time. Otherwise, all the other presidents are all related to each other.
Yeah. And I'm sure we could do the same exercise on Canada and every other country in existence.
Yeah. No, there's no shortage. Well, even in the movie industry, it's real easy to look back and say, oh, you know, like the other day, Jennifer Aniston, you know, oh, you know, she's a famous movie star. Well, her father was a famous star, and her mother was a famous star, and you know, and they, and you know, what's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
You know, her father was famous, and her mother was, you know, and it goes back, and it's like, well, or who his father was, and then who, you know, and where did they all come from? Oh my gosh, it's just a chain line, you know.
I know.
Until her kids grow up, they're probably in movies too.
Oh, we are. We're at the grandchildren level now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
it's
Kelly Clarkson
unbelievable.
too. Her Reba McEntire is her grandmother.
There.
That was just an organic story. She went on the Stars show and she won. Whoa, all organic. No.
And it doesn't stop getting weirder, does it?
No. And the family relations and the gender bending and the, you know, there's still rumor they might pull Big Mike up for the presidency.
Oh God, he's going to win. That's
well,
going to be.
They say JFK is doing really well, but the Democrats really don't want JFK, so he's gone independent.
And it's a small circle. I don't know if JFK. He's not in the club. That club.
No.
I don't think.
No,
I don't.
But he seems outside the club.
The thing is
they killed his father and his uncle. So you know.
Yeah.
They will use him though. He'll go independent, and then he'll run, and he is pretty popular, so he'll take a chunk of the vote from Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
Then they only have to cheat a little bit, you know, to get Uncle Joe to win the thing, because you know, he stole that chunk of people. And
I don't think Biden. No, Biden's not going to go up again. I don't think so. I think
with
Max is right.
I don't think so. Yeah. And they've shown us with Biden that they don't really need a president. They just need a puppet there, right? Because the deep state's really running it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, all you need is him to get in under a Democrat party, and then the Democrats are in power again. And, you know, Milley should be up on treason for what he did. He claimed he called up China and told China that if Trump made a move that he'd warn China. That's flat out treason against the American people. Why is that man not hanging from a rope?
Because he's a part of the mob.
Like, you know, that's ridiculous.
It's just that simple.
Yeah. Well, is he part of the mob, or does China really run our country, or, you know, so deeply embedded in our country that it's just normal to talk like that? That's the other that's the way I look at it. It's because wasn't it Feinstein? She had a spy and then there was that other guy who had a spy he was dating, and the Mitch McConnell, his wife is big into. She's really, she's Chinese, and they own all the ports, and it just goes on, and it's like, maybe the reason he said that was not so much that he was committing treason, but he and all the other people in Congress are so owned by the Chinese that they're working for him.
I think you're
quite
right there. In Canada, we have Chinese police stations that opened up. We also have an open port out west for China. They can bring in whatever they want uninspected. You also have a similar port. I think you have 2 of them.
Yes. We have several, mostly Pacific, and that was my question. If we ever technically went to war with China and we lost,
we'd lose. We're lined up to lose right now because they'll destroy our infrastructure.
Okay,
because they're already here. They've got their operatives here.
Exactly. And if technically, just out in the public, superficially, we lose to China, I wonder how people will feel that they will be the new owners of California. Because I think that's where it would go. They would compromise with owning a state or 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's a good one for you. So I was watching, I love those little shorts, and the guy gets on there and he says, guys, you got to hear this. Here's Alexa. Alexa, when's World War III going to start? And Alexa says, March 21st, 2024, the U.S. will be invaded by China on the California coast. And I'm thinking, maybe Alexa ain't so far off.
Yeah, she might not be. I consider us already invaded. We've been invaded by just about every country you can imagine at the moment.
It's more global than we give it credit for.
Yeah.
It really, that's why I said it's big mobs. We're not national anymore. I hope you don't hear my dogs.
These people know why they're here. They're all mostly trained military. They're getting more money to live here than Canadians get to live on disability or pension, and so they know what they're here for. They're paid mobsters, and we got to get them the hell out of our country before they can be activated.
Well, I don't think they're going to go around with the buses, load up people, and then deport them all.
Well,
see, that's the problem. It's like here, they're bringing them across. They're saying they're going to get up to 1 million people a month coming across the border here. And I'm like, what are you doing? Where are all these people going? And when 1 million people a month, who's coming across? Are those the Arabs? Are those the Chinese? Are those where?
it's all
come on. The countries are got to be running out of people by now.
I know. It's like, what? I heard through the rumor mill that a Texas farmer had problems with migrants, whatever you want to call them, coming over on his land, and he recently witnessed a Hispanic male with a big shotgun bringing 14 Chinese soldier age men over. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope I'm not coming across too loud. I did something to my. Okay, good.
It's good.
I can adjust you here anyway. So.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, I was. I wonder where they're all supposed to work.
Well, they're doing their work. They're going to do their work. A lot of them are probably going to go home after they're done.
Possibly.
Right? Because they'll saved up. They could save up a bunch of money. You get a few of them in an apartment, right? 3 of them in an apartment. The apartment's around $2,400. So you'd be able to save about $2,000 or about $500 a month plus each.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's very possible.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, though, that the people from Africa, Haiti, what's another big country that they've noticed? I don't know about the Asians, but I feel they're going to stay. I don't think they're going to go back.
No. Well, they got to mix it in, see? So it doesn't look like they're just shipping Chinese people or Russian guys or whatever across. You have to mix it in, and so you get,
everybody.
Those 12. You get everybody, and then the news comes out, and who are they taking pictures of? They're taking pictures of the kids with the moms and the dads, and those are probably legit people coming who want to start a good life. It's all the ones we don't get to see. Those ones that very seldom you see, where they're all marching in a line. And, hey, those are all young men. There's like 1,000 of them.
No.
And they're in their 20s and 30s. What? That makes no sense. A lot of single eligible guys that don't have jobs. And don't have girlfriends or lives or families.
Yep, there's a crew of them downtown in my city already that do that. They walk in military fashion from one building to another and just disappear. They don't hang around.
That's sketchy. Those are the type of people that are planting something bombish alike, in a building. The ones that look, like they just got off the CIA bus.
I wanted to point out Isabella's comment here. It's been an Indian summer, except we were promised an Indian summer, and then they told us we were going to have a deep freeze, an instant freeze. So we set a few groups onto that spiritually, and it seems like we're now kind of going to get we're maintaining a relatively cool but not a deep freeze at the moment like they claimed was coming. So that has been staved off. We predicted about a month ago, I think, that the next attack on the U.S. would probably be the weather coming this fall. So we're watching out for that, trying to preempt it. So I think we've done a good job there. I think that actually worked this time, because we're supposed to be in a deep freeze. You guys are supposed to have been soaked with water and then frozen straight down the middle of the U.S. So good job, guys. D-Ocean did a lot of work on that and her crew. So good job, guys.
Well, I know here in North Dakota, it got kind of cold, then it warmed back up.
Yeah.
And then they're saying next Thursday, we're supposed to start getting snow. And I looked at the temperatures, and it's like Thursday hits, it's going to be 31 degrees and snow. And then it just starts getting colder after that with snow.
We staved it off for a while. We'll see if we can stave it off a little longer, because it was originally supposed to be an Indian summer.
Interesting.
But we know that the weather's all manipulated at the moment. So we're battling against that.
I hate to say this, but it's been very pleasant here.
Yeah, it's been mild here as well. So
very pleasant. I'm in the 80s and 90s. And I'm sorry.
Sorry about that, peacemonger. You just have to learn to deal with it. We flip subjects. Hi, Ray. Nice to meet you. Hi, peacemonger.
We
Haven't
did go
seen you guys before. How are you doing? So that was one positive thing. I'm hoping that it staves off a little longer and that we do get the Indian summer that was predicted naturally to happen. So that's with the sun cycles that we're supposed to get one. So
it's supposed to get a lot of snow this winter, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
So see what happens.
Well, to steer it back to our current news situation here, I just want to put it out there to people, something to consider. I think it was 2015, 16, right there. They changed laws in the draft code, policies, or whatever you want to call them. They now can draft men 18 to 42. They upped the age to 42, and and they're considering drafting women. Once a woman is drafted, I believe the way it's written, she can choose whether to go into, non-combat or combat situations. Depending on what they call MOS, military occupation will be.
Yeah.
But they changed the rules, everybody.
Hi, Nina.
So.
Wow. Hi, Pamela Jean. I didn't see if you were in there before. Everyone say hi to the newbies here. We've got Peacemonger and Roy Fielding. Welcome to the chat, guys.
Yeah. Nice to see you all. That's cool. So you know where I like to go to get some good news or at least headlines is this site. I don't know if you've ever checked it out. It's Steve Quayle's site. It's called it's just stevequayle.com. And then on that site, he gives all these headlines you can click on. And I like to go through them every day to just see what stuff I might have missed. And like so far, it's here, the live updates. Israel bombs oldest Christian church in Gaza. The situation in Israel right now is bad and getting worse. Rockets attack Hamas in the Gaza Strip continue at a reduced pace. Let's see, what else is there? And it just goes on. Carl Schwab signs over drafting U.S. men and women to fight for globalists. In World War III, maybe the fast track to the cauldrons of hell, blah, blah, blah. And then here's one good one on Tyson Foods. Buys stake in insect protein company. We got to all start eating bugs, people, and Tyson Foods is going to do it for us.
We built the biggest cricket plant in the world in London, Ontario. So we got everybody beat. Yeah, we only got 1/10 of the population, so we can feed a lot of crickets to a lot of people.
Oh, now who raise your hand if you're gonna eat bugs?
No, what they're gonna do is what they're gonna do if we don't eat them, they're gonna feed them to food crops and feed them to our animals. So that's all right with chickens. It's all right with chickens, but not so much with cows.
Yeah, the chickens they've I go to town and actually they got those little worm things you can buy. They're dried worms or whatever. They're good protein for the chickens. That's expensive. So I can't imagine them trying to sell us bugs. It's got to be kind of expensive.
That's so true. It is. I had geckos at one time, and I fed them crickets and things. I would have to pay a fortune at the pet store for these darn bugs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How can bugs be?
I guess they're going to make it affordable. I don't know.
Well, we already know we eat bugs.
Yeah, there's now they actually do. There's a comment. It's already in a lot of the processed foods. They're allowed to use it as a food substitute, but they don't have to label it. Really, as far as I know, in Canada, as anything except for protein substitute. They've got all kinds of different names. There's a 3-letter name they give it down in the U.S. So good night, Gigi. So they claim it's already in our food. So
natural additives.
I wouldn't doubt it. They're already trying to spray nanotech on our damn food.
That's what they got.
How much you want to bet that Henry Kissinger doesn't eat any of that?
Oh, I bet he doesn't. I bet he breathes rarefied air flown in from I don't know where.
Purified, rarefied, and I mean, it's crazy, like I said. Anyway, if anybody wants to go, I'll click the link here and put it in the chat. But that's where I like to go. To
I thought he was going to give us some good news or something.
Well, and that's the thing is there's a lot of headlines there, and you can click on them and go to the articles and stuff like that. I mean, and it's all over. It ain't all about one subject, which you get on some of these places, and all they do is talk about one subject, all their whole show, and it's like, okay, you're beating a dead horse. First 5 minutes, I got it. After that, done. I'm done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah.
This is.
I think there's. I think when Tyson's getting into it, I think it's going to be here to stay. They invest. They're investing in future stuff. You know what I mean? They know it's not going anywhere. The government's promoting it.
Yeah.
But
well, they
never gonna.
Yeah. This whole thing they let happen. They let them build up the arms and they left the back door open. They say 90% of Israeli people know that Netanyahu, they stood their troops down for 7 hours while this was all going on. So come on.
Yeah,
Come
they
on.
want it.
Come on.
They've been wanting this, fighting at the bit for them just to do something so they can take their land. I'm telling you, it's one big land grab.
I showed a clip of Netanyahu saying, we need to turn the Palestinians into the aggressors, and this is basically what they've done. So it's again, it's the globalists. We can lump them all together. They're globalists. They're secret societies. You can pick one or the other. The Waldensians, whatever group you want. The Skull and Bones, the Illuminati, the Masons. It's all secret societies. They all at the top. They're in on it
for hundreds of years.
Oh yeah, that's well said. Yeah, hundreds, and that's the thing. They're all, those people are, maybe there's people behind those people too, but those people are kind of in the know. Unless you're old Joe and he only knows when it's nap time.
Yes,
right now.
I'm telling you, it's all families.
On tonight.
It's all families. Handed down. And you're right. They teach them to act. They may take on a rock star position on one hand and a king in another. I mean, I am not surprised. Yeah, it's all a mob, and we're stuck with them.
Yeah, there's more of us than there is of them, but I think what it is it always boils down to that. If you guys, I'm sure, watch Gilligan's Island, and I always refer to that one episode where the bank robber came onto the island and he had a gun, and because he had a gun, they all bought, and he threatened to shoot him. Well, nobody wanted to die, so they did whatever he said. They waited on him hand and foot. They did all the things and, watched their back. They were terrified of him. And little by little, they convinced him to shoot his bullets away until he shot the last one. And then he wasn't so powerful anymore. But because the government has the control, we believe that they're all powerful until the day, they shoot that last bullet off, and then you go, hey, they're not so powerful. Let's get them now. Let's take our country back. Let's do what we need to do.
Pamela Jean, I don't believe that we're overpopulated at all. Every person on the planet can fit into Texas with 1 acre or 1 or 2 acres of land, I believe it is. Really, what they're doing is they're creating a sense of false scarcity of resources when there actually is an abundance of resources. We've barely tapped 1% of the surface of the earth, let alone any of the interior. We haven't even looked at the stars above us for resources. In the past, we can see, if you look at Google Earth, over all the entire landscape, from the north to the south, the entire planet was populated completely at one time with people. Just people everywhere. There must have been 20 billion, 30 billion people, because they were everywhere. There was probably even more than that.
I was going to go trillions.
There was probably trillions.
Yeah.
And they didn't have false scarcity because all the resources that we use are renewable. The oil comes back into the ground. All the old wells that they said dried up, they're remining those. Those are being retapped. We have steel is an entirely renewable resource. Most of the metals are all renewable. These plastics that they're using, now those have to go. Those are polluting. So, that is a problem. But population is not a problem at the moment. Canada has 27 million people, and we live on about 1% of the land.
Yeah, most of the Canada population, if I'm wrong, correct me, but isn't most of your Canadian population pretty much within a couple 100 miles of the border of the United States?
Yep, most of it. Yep.
Yeah. Another thing on this resources thing, I just want to make a comment on that, is the fact that whatever energy source that they find, they're not going to let you use it unless they can put a meter on it and charge you for it.
Yeah.
If it's too simple, it's not, and they can't regulate it or monitor it or charge you for it, then they're going to say it's unattainable, it's not feasible, we can't make it work, it's just so far out of reach. But here's the oil, we can get that out, and then we're going to, dial it back because, we don't want you to use it all up too fast. There's only 1,000-year supply if we keep going at the rate we're going.
That's what they
really
did with marijuana until they were able to, get it so that they could sell it themselves, this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
And because it's like, wait 1 second, what are we doing here with the guns and everything, guys? It's pot, and the medical doctors have already said it can't hurt anybody back in the 70s. In Canada, we had a referendum on that with the doctors that came out and said, no, this isn't a harmful thing. So it's like, so the people that are even like, growing it or that have it or whatever, it's just ingenuity. It's just something that they have and that they could trade with other people, and it has some worth, except it's absolutely nothing that can harm anybody. Exactly. So the reason why it's illegal is because of what then? No answer. And it's because if people don't understand, so they have to fight a moral war against it.
Well, petroleum won that war. That's why.
Exactly.
It was petroleum products.
They wanted people like
in the cotton industry.
I think they wanted people.
And why
alcohol and tobacco?
Why?
Like at first.
Why did the petroleum win the war in the first? Why did they even have a war on the alcohol in the first place?
Because the governments decided that they wanted monopolies.
Yeah.
Well, the alcohol would have been a damper on the petroleum products because Henry Ford even wanted to run his vehicles off of alcohol.
Yeah.
And the farmers had plenty of, they were growing their corn and making stills and running their vehicles off of alcohol. And then they said, hey, wait, we can't have that, but we can't come down on these farmers. So we're just going to ixnay on all the alcohol.
Yes.
And well, that put all them farmers out of business making the alcohol, and they went to petroleum, of course.
Yeah.
Then they brought back the alcohol, and everybody was good because, they got used to that.
Yeah.
They established a pattern of buying petroleum.
Oh, yeah. And the moonshiners would put it in their cars. They'd make a batch of moonshine. It didn't turn out right. They just throw it in the Model A. It would run fine on it.
Barleys, hops, and wheat all at the same time. This is now illegal. So what's your farm doing still making this wheat and whatnot and everything? Totally contributing to the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
See?
They got the Dust Bowl out there in California. Oh, the soil went off. Now I'm not sure how much, but the topsoil from off of the ground or whatever they say, that and whatnot. And then like the perfect storm of, it's not a perfect storm. It's a perfectly created storm.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as now. Like with like the Tyson Foods and everything. I had the Tyson's food thing start playing in my brain. You know what I mean? Like about a couple of months. Well, whenever the contract went in, it's just weird, But I notice things like that, like how any signals I get in my head once I do my fasting thing or whatever. If it can make it through my blood, my psychic blood brain, it's something. You kind of get what I'm saying? Anytime something actually makes it through, it's something. And that's without me reaching. It's like, no, it's as much of a curse as like, because I have to deal with everything that's coming in. And then forward, everybody has to, that's clear, whatever you want to call it. Everybody has to, that's like just crystal head or whatever you want to call it. I mean, you guys are too. I mean, it could just be that if you, like, not what's considered IQ, but just whatever is considered your ability to stay in touch with reality and your ability to pick it up naturally, like a human being. And they don't want people thinking that we have that ability. Hey, I know what's going on because I can sense it. Oh, you don't have that sense. Like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know exactly what you guys are doing. And it's like, and we have that, and it's written about in the book that I like, the Bible. Like whether you believe or don't, it's the guy Jesus still existed, and the event still happened when he was there, and he read the guy's minds, and he didn't know, and everyone went, "Oh, this is demonic. Oh, this is a sin." Jesus went, "No, Jesus did it, so you can do it, and it's not a sin, and it wouldn't be bad either, and it's something that God or whatever that Jesus, something that Jesus openly does. You are allowed to do it." So Jesus read men's minds freely. Just saying. And it's something that you can also do. And believe me, everybody's giving off signals. Everybody's giving off their radio. Like everybody's playing a card.
Especially now, they give off Bluetooth. They're giving off Bluetooth right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Bluetooth. But no, you're definitely right. We're all big antennas.
Yeah.
And our antenna, works both ways. You got the incoming signal and you have the outgoing signal. So there you go.
Yes. And by the way, if you talk to any excellent card player, especially those ones from back in the day when you were actually wearing a gun at the table, and they'd be able to tell you, yeah, everybody has that ability, and it's not as hokey pokey as people think. It's a lot more direct. It's just that you have to be sensitive enough to notice in yourself. And because those guys at the poker table, they know what everybody's thinking around them too, because they've studied for so long people's faces, facial movements, the quickness of your heart rate, the breathing going in and out of your mouth, the pheromones that they've learned to sense coming off of people for whether or not they're nervous or whatever. I mean, except we're not animals, we're human beings. So we can do it at a much more refined level. Oh, a lot.
So we have posted by Paula Rainbow, or what are you calling yourself now? What's she calling herself? Rainbow something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rainbow,
so welcome to
Rainbow Phoenix back in the day. And
it was.
Now it's, I don't know. Paula, you're Paula.
Yeah.
Paula's
Well, welcome to Fuck Around. Find out. Exit 1 mile ahead. Enjoy your stay.
She's awesome. She finds the coolest stuff. Yes.
Good one, Paula.
But no, I agree with you on that. The thing is we've been led down this long road. Now I've been reading this book with Nina and the Dolores Cannon book, Horns of the Goddess, on Sunday nights. And the gal is doing the thing and she's saying, hey, we can talk to the animals. We can do all of these things, but the church is making us go under, basically, to sum it all up, is we know how to do these things, but it's slowly fading from us because we're getting out of tune with nature. We're getting out of the tune with the stuff we know. The people we know are being persecuted, and the church is saying it's bad, and and they're burning witches at the stake. So we don't talk about it. We have little signs, and we can't read or write, but we got to kind of sneakily do it. But you know how that goes. Little by little by little, over hundreds of years, it burns out, and pretty soon you don't have anybody left. That knows those secrets and can read or talk with the animals. But once in a while, like you were saying, some guy comes along and he just has that guy or girl has that natural ability to do those things.
Doolittle.
And then he says, hey, you can do it too, people.
Yeah, you can.
You got all these powers just like me. And everybody scratches their head going, well, how is that possible? I don't understand. Well, wake up. That's all I can say. Wake up and understand.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. It's us. We're powerful beings trapped in a meat suit body that have been told that we can't ride a bicycle because we'll fall down, and then you get on and you fall down and you go, well, I guess they were right. And we never go back and try again.
That's it.
That's why I do remote viewing, because I know you guys can.
Yeah. Remember that a couple of weeks ago I got on and I hit that one spot on. I was jumping up and down. I was like, whoa, I'm so good.
I like those nights. I do. Well, speaking of animals, I know I can indirectly or directly talk to my dogs. It's just like sitting down and taking the time to learn a new language.
Bugs are listening to me now for some reason. If I talk to them, they actually listen for some reason.
I was doing it today with the bee.
Yeah.
And and it knew, and I was like, okay, is a dance for me? And it's like, yes, I know. I think, and he happened outside yesterday with some workers and whatnot, and he came back around, and anyway, and it wasn't just I'm not going to kill you or anything. It had nothing to do with that. But he was doing his thing. He was around the place, and I let him do the little bit thing or whatever. And I was like, okay, you can do that, you can do that, and you can do that, and you can do that. And I was like, all right. And then when it was time for him to go, I was like, all right, it's time for you to go. And then I had to get up and but I didn't really have to make him either, because I just kind of had to speak a bit. And he knew, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up. And it's no, I'm leaving. It's like, okay, it was great because I know you're communicating directly with the bee.
Yeah.
Oh, and also they know when you're looking at them. You know what I'm talking about? When
oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, how come when I'm looking, if I go like this, they start moving, and it's like it's either directly electrical, meaning I think it's my eye, but they know it knows that it's actually something more than your eye. Like there's an actual connection, spatially. If I don't believe in space and time, but just meaning, I'm saying that it's more than just.
You can visualize it as a little bit of electricity going from you to
Max
it.
has it. Yes, it doesn't have to be just the eyes, but it's a bit of electricity that's going back and forth, like echolocation. Yeah. It knows you are aware of its presence and its vibration, and it is aware of you.
Yeah, that's a connection.
And
we all make
it has to be a wave coming out of your mind like this. It's going like woof, woof, woof. And then when you actually are looking at, the thing, it's like I can totally feel that.
Yeah, it's a stronger than regular connection we have with the environment and people around us.
Yeah, it's the aura.
And
and as you focus,
you could picture it as a cone of energy.
They move as you don't focus on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like what moment is it going to start moving? As soon as your focus is actually off of it, like a natural animal of prey, this, that, and the other thing that's trying not to die, and it's used to dealing with predators that will just will kill it if they move at the wrong time, because that's their nature, and it's amazing. Yeah. It's just amazing. And that, the other thing that you said about the characters and how they have people that they're going to activate and stuff like that, and about how we have these abilities. Well, I feel like you not people that are getting people higher up, in especially.
Your voice is going out on us.
But they're they want also to bring those powers up in those of us that they think I think that's what happened to me, which is why they wanted me taking the drug at such a young age to amplify me. That's why they wanted me on amphetamine so young. They were like, okay, Trevor's one. You know what I mean? It's like, do we have that kid? Oh yeah, he's in the system. Yeah, we can do whatever we want with them. And they did. You know what I mean? I did the testing. I took the dope. My dad and mom actually said no to you can't take our 2.5-year-old baby. So they I was a year older to begin the testing, and I thank God for that, but yeah, I think that they were trying to enhance whatever that thing is that's in my head.
Yep, and I think they may have done it because
perhaps
we've predicted a lot. We've predicted some things in class that have happened.
Yeah,
this is another prediction that's up and coming. A few weeks ago, we looked into the death of Joe Biden. That is to summarize that we assume Joe Biden is alive, or that some character is playing Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. That his death would occur somewhere in Africa. And he is headed to the African Summit. What is this called? U.S. Department of State, U.S. Africa Leaders Summit coming up.
Has me thinking of Mandela.
So on December 13th to 15th of 2022, no, I think there's another one coming. There's one coming up where he's going to another African summit. I don't think they've advertised for that one. So we'll be up and watching that one to see if we've predicted that one right. That would be
if he does exit,
yeah.
Will they just replace him and keep on going, and we wouldn't know the difference. Bring in the guy with the different earlobe.
Yes.
He looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we could be viewing what's being used politically as well. Right? It could be the political tool that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a Biden or a Biden lookalike, blah blah blah. Doesn't really necessarily matter. It could be that it's just a political tool. So, yeah.
Well, it's interesting, this summit, because so many countries over there now are really breaking away from France and England and whomever might be currently running them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's three, Nigeria, 3 of them in the Congo. I can't remember all their names, but they recently have been throwing mostly France out. And military
China's
coup.
been making a lot of moves into Africa,
Yeah.
offering roads and various other infrastructures to be built. And they're getting land rights, water rights, things like that. So
then is it China throwing them out indirectly, or is it really these countries? That's the bigger question.
That's it. Who's behind the coups? What's really going on? I don't know. But there's a shift going on, a land grab.
Yeah, there was 5 African presidents that died at the beginning of the pandemic.
That's right.
They were all assassinated.
Yeah, how convenient is that?
Yeah, they'll come back to life, though.
They did not want to go. They did not. No, they died.
I'm just joking.
They did not want to go along. I think Paula was here. Where'd you go, Paula?
I was doing a Mandela prediction.
This thing kicks her out all the time. Hi, Paula.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, you're here for the moment.
I'm here.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Anyway, all this land grabbing is a good question, but I heard a lot about this in this here. I don't know if you can see it. If it comes up, it's called Incoming. It was Bob Fletcher. Okay, this was a DVD I got years ago. It was Bob Fletcher, and he talks about the Planet X, the Nibiru, or whatever it is that's coming in, and he had said, this is coming, and these are all the things they're going to do before it gets here. And you know what? A lot of that stuff he talked about in there, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to play some of that on my show one of these days. But a lot of the things he talks about have started to come true.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we look at Lockstep and all those documents. They're starting to come true too.
Yeah. The bad part is he put that out there 20 years ago, and everybody was like big into the Planet X thing, and then of course it was so far away that everybody's like, I can't see nothing. Nothing's happening. And then because people aren't willing to wait, we're impatient, we move on to the next subject, and now 20 years later they're starting to say Alex Jones was right, frogs are turning gay.
Yeah, a lot of those books, spy books, were written by ex-spies, and they tried to kind of expose what's going on. Either that or they were writing the plays.
You've read the spy books, have you?
No.
Oh, I have. And let me tell you. Recently as well. Now, as well as the other ones. In fact, I have, I'm qualified, put it that way. I've read a few of the different artists and not just Mickey Spillane.
Yeah.
I feel I was specifically drawn to the books, the many books that I ingested over a couple of years ago. I went crazy for a 10-year period and just booked it out. Now, the book. Oh man! I just popped it out of my head. What book is it? Oh shoot! Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second.
It was a spy book?
Yes, thank you. I was reading in those spy books. All right. what they have is they have the guy like that'll meet the person, the younger person, the operative. He worked out emissions and everything, and they meet their contacts in other countries, and they're in little positions of power, and they get set there where they are at, trying to find a place where they're not going to get killed by other operatives, but where they can sit with their secret and their intelligence and just sit there as an asset and not be called upon. And like, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, okay, you can sit there with your money, I don't know, foreign place and this and that. Anyway, then they still have to deal with the other people because like a child on the schoolyard, I want everybody to understand from what I've read about international espionage, you still, when the other person's within your perimeter, like the other assassin, that's exactly what you are. A child on the schoolyard. The monkey bars are there. The thing is there. The tire swing's there. Because if they're going to kill you, they're going to kill you. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the only thing that, and here's the thing, these guys know I'm dead. If I give up my piece of information that everybody knows I have, and everybody needs to know that I have that piece of information to be able to sit here in my spot as an ex-CIA, ex-whatever, ex-alphabet men from over here, over there, from Kretchen, from whatever, meaning KGB or CIA, you have to have a piece of information that you can't give up.
Huh.
And
Just to
you
keep
must
yourself safe, right?
Exactly. And the guy that gets to you, because you're like, what happens? The guy gets the drop on you. What do you do? And it's like you give them a piece. You know, exactly. Why would you give them the whole thing? Okay, and that is how that works. You are still working for the CIA. You are still working for the KGB. It's can they just afford a guy to come out to talk to you?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And all these people are where they are. And the thing, and they each have pieces to the puzzle, and they can put them together for people. They can call them in. You know, it costs this much to do this, costs this much to do that. But yeah, so there's no such. There's double agents and triple agents and quarter agents. No such thing. Once you're an agent that isn't like a Mormon guy who's like, I'm going to obey for a religious reason, and I'm willing to die, and I won't ever do the wrong thing. Nobody ever feels like they're just people that won't disobey orders.
Yeah.
Like
They'd use that guy anyway. He's too easy to manipulate.
Exactly. All those guys you have to be so smart to be one of those CIA guys. You're somebody that like just realizes the truth and where you are. And that's the thing. Anybody who actually knows is are usually these types of people. And then when they get it, it's to them, it's simple, right? They're like, I'm alive because of the information I have. And it's valuable to everybody. And then, and then you sit there like Smog in the Lonely Mountain with it.
Yeah.
Not a big, huge point, but yes, inside of those books, everything. And if you read those books, like, I'm just saying that they will give you that picture. That's how you stay alive. You have to have a piece of the diamond still that's big enough that people give a shit, or you're killed.
Yeah. So you have to have you got to have some dirt on somebody, right?
Yeah.
Somebody big enough. And I imagine the more dirt you have, the more money you get.
Yeah, the more valuable you are. Yeah, exactly.
So,
because you want somebody that can be tapped. Exactly. Can we tap them? If we have to, we can tap
so
them. Who has that information? That's the other thing. Like in school, what they teach you in elementary school, where do you get this information? Like when you're writing you're writing a thing. The important thing that you learn, like for when you get older, is where do I source the information I need for the thing I have to write. And that was always the thing that they were teaching, never just the information. No, that's not. I want to know if you know how to get it. They want to teach you to understand like how to get information, how to find information, how to get the answer. It's like the answer itself.
Most of them are lawyers too, eh? So they try to skirt the law. That's one of their aims is to always be right on the edge of the law.
In a non-legality. Yeah, so a letter just can't show up at the embassy and they show up with their guys because we have to go and get you. It's like, no, you don't.
No.
Yeah, you play all the games, but yeah.
Can I take a total right turn here?
Sure.
I apologize. I'm not trying to break the conversation, but I saw Pamela Jean's comment about the sun being 93 million miles away, and I just want to say we really don't know. I don't believe I really question everything they say, and I don't personally think the sun is that far away. They have guys out now that the angles of the shadows and all this other stuff that goes over my head, so please forgive me on that. But I don't think it's not that far away. And to always question the NASA answers.
Yeah, I saw clouds today where it looks like it was just behind the clouds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the angles of the shadows come down, and they've measured this now. I go YouTube it. It's really trippy what they're coming up with. Anyway,
I was a
I
draftsman.
digress.
I did
I apologize.
3D rendering, and it only adds up if you add light refraction into the equation.
Yeah, well,
if you just do it a perfect line drawing, it doesn't work.
No. Yeah, and you know where I lean? I lean that we're under something, a dome or something.
Could be a lensing effect, eh?
Yes. And I don't think it's that far away in lensing effect. Yes. And Pamela was saying they're capturing images behind the sun. I think in a sense, yes, but on the other hand, I think it's the projector. I think it's what's causing the light if they catch it once in a while.
What do you think of the
angle.
fake sun? Like the fake suns, they say. Some people say they're tethered on balloons. So
I haven't personally seen one, so you'd have to show me a fake one before I'll talk about it.
They've got patents for them. You can check out the patents for fake
Really?
suns. Yeah, artificial suns. Yeah.
Interesting. No, I haven't. If they showed me one, then I could clearly say, okay. I'm sure there's a difference. I don't think they can actually capture that luminescence. Come on. I mean, that's pretty powerful.
No.
It heats us up. But anyway, I'm sorry, Morgan. I didn't mean to.
No,
I've been smoking. Everybody, warning.
I'm smoking Animal Ranch, the strongest stuff that they have. Last batch came out 35%.
Ooh.
Excellent.
And this batch came out 33.7. Like, she was like, it's not as strong as the last batch. I don't know if you can know. It's like, what can you see off that, right? But I mean, it's just, Animal Ranch. I mean, it's great.
We'll do another 7 minutes, and then I'm going to cut it off. It's getting late for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me up here, Max.
No problem. This was awesome.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yeah.
This has been great. A lot of information out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the news changes like daily now. I mean, there's so much going on. It's almost hard to pay attention or know what actually is happening. You got the House of Representatives who can't decide on a speaker because they're all too, uppy about themselves. You got Biden over there in Israel trying to talk to these guys, and nobody wants to listen. You got the bombings and the missiles flying and people complaining about who died in what hospital and when and where and who shot what. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. You got the armies and ships pulling into the Mediterranean, and you don't know if they're there to help Israel or to destroy Iran and China or Russia. And then you got China over there saying, we're the humanitarians here. You all stop fighting, like they're the good guys. It makes you really have your head spinning thinking, who is everything?
We have to believe. That's the important part, is that we believe the story that's being told. That's it's a psyop. It's all a psyop.
I mean, has anybody heard anything about Ukraine anymore?
Well,
that's like off the radar.
No.
Yeah, you're half the fun.
That whole thing.
What they're doing is you guys are sending a whole buttload of money to Israel, but there's a bunch of earmarked money, 90% of it for Ukraine. So the Ukraine money slush fund will still flow.
And the colors of Babylon, which are gold and blue, or like the yellow and the blue. I brought it up yesterday. I think it was last time on the show. Okay, because that's Ukraine colors, right? Because they're getting us used to, fight for Ukraine, be good for that and that. It's also the colors that they used on every single poster promoting the vax.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't
Because
that
if you
odd?
think about it, I want you to think like in the Bible and that, man. You're like, wait 1 second. Yeah, the colors, man. Blue and yellow.
Yep.
Symbology.
Yeah.
Symbology.
They're going to be, you know what I'm saying? Because they have to be lifted up.
Yeah.
Like I'm not being weird or I'm just
No,
like that's
they
the
do that.
thing.
That's
Like
pre-programming.
picking it up like when I step in the whatever
Yeah,
you
no, that's very powerful.
That's
you call it the continuum,
yeah.
right? Outside of time and space to see what is actually looking down at the black circle. That's from True Detective, and it's just a good way to look at it when you're looking at things outside of time.
Yeah. Well, they've
Every
used
time
color on us very well. Like with that, they did it, and they're doing it with the rainbow too, right? They're trying to keep us in the lower chakras, so they put those up top.
It's the strongest symbology.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
It is very strong. It carries resonance with it, and we react to it very profoundly.
they paint the walls of jails specifically and hospitals one color specifically. It's written into the bylaws. Like it's like more than that. Like I mean, it's written into us.
Yep.
Like because you will actually react that way.
That's why most
color.
fast food places are red and yellow, or orange
Red
in
and yellow.
color, because those stimulate your stomach, stimulate hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even when you leave the grocery store, you know, those racks there, those are all product placement. You know, it's at eye level.
Yeah.
You know, where you notice if you ever go in there, the stuff right up top is quick food to eat, like chips and some candy bars.
Big
And then
man.
as you go lower, it's gum and things like that for the little kids who want to, you know, the little kid stuff is at their eye level. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, and
you know what?
Fresh.
They pay for that placement.
They do.
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
So
Ain't that crazy?
yeah, you're absolutely right. And color coordination of what products they want to push out at you first, you know, of all the Pringles, what's like he said, the orange can and the red can, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, original Pringles is red. Go figure.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been programming us for years, right?
Yeah.
They have.
And if you don't believe that they have groups of people sitting around in each big company or whatever, trying to figure all this stuff out, how people will react and what they'll like or what phrases they'll respond to better, and you don't think that's true, well, think again.
You know, that's a business, right?
Yeah.
And some people do that for a living. They go downtown to the office building. They go up to the floor. They say hello to the girl. They're all in there. And you sit down and they bring out the can of Coke and they set it, you know, or the can or whatever it is that day.
Yeah.
And they set it in front of you. Or they bring out the T-shirt. Or you listen to the song while the production team's sitting there like this. We got the 10 guys, right? Yeah, we do. And I'm serious. They are called focus groups. And my cousin, a fellow Tristram, right? It just meaning like, you know, he's got the card, the thing that like card carrying.
Yeah, in the 60s, they looked for things that would stimulate your libido.
He does that, yes.
And in the 80s, they took gangster rap and they tried to weaponize the black people. You know, they've used music to try to augment people's behavior for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's 10:10. All right. Thank you very much for coming, guys.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Very cool.
Appreciate the talk. There's Paula for the last minute. Let's see if she can stay on for the last minute. How are you doing there, Paula? So
yeah, I just wanted to see how long I can stay in here before you end it. I'm on my computer now, and screw you, Restream.
Any last words on the Israeli conflict?
Yeah, fuck the fucking fuckers. Fuck them all.
Yep, totally fuck them all.
Well
and
said.
everything's a psyop. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, question everything.
Question everything.
Robert?
Yes, absolutely. Question it. And most importantly, be the frequency you want to receive, everyone.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Good one. Give you a minute there, Morgan.
Okay, I'm just
Last
gonna say,
one?
for a child, I want Okay, in the
Make it quick.
angelic and spiritual realm, for a child, anywhere where a child is harmed, okay, energy is released. Huge amounts of energy are released because, and there's also an angel being or that's dispatched to a child and a living child's soul that will also be dispatched or whatever at a moment of a child's negative demise.
So we're talking about the ceremonial use of the death of these children.
It rips a hole into the fabric of time and space, like God taking his fist and going, bam.
Well, even if those children died or not, our response is enough to do that. I think we move the Schumann resonance. So yeah, check out everything before you fall for it, guys. Don't fall into the emotional states.
Meaning that there can't be a bloodbath of this, that, and the other thing without us feeling it over here in a way that we'd be weeping even now.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'd be weeping for their lives.
So
and
please,
I haven't received any signal of weeping.
Please hold your emotions, because we can get caught up, guys. And
pause,
please take your time, take days to figure out what's true, what's not, before you react to it.
Yes.
Until next time, keep your third eye open, use your intelligence and your intuition, be the frequency you want to receive, and go listen to some music over on Morgan's channel. And go listen to some chats on Rainbow Phoenix channel. I don't know what you're calling yourself now. And G Sharp.
Well, actually, right now it's Phoenix Fire.
Okay, Phoenix Fire. All right. Good night, guys. Much love to you all.
The best stuff in my shorts. If you come to the channel, go down to the place where it says shorts. They're like a minute long a piece.
Okay.
You'll love it.
Awesome.
It'll take you just 10 minutes to go through a lot.
Well, go comment in live chat before it disappears so I can find your channel, dude.
Right.
Please.
It's right there.
All right.
Okay, I'm
Bye-bye,
heading that
guys.
way. Love you
Have
guys.
a good night. We'll see you tomorrow night in class.
Peace.